Okay, welcome back, and now it's time to speak with Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Basiru of Osun Central Senatorial District. He is the Senate spokesperson and spokesman. Good morning to you, Senator Basiru.
Yeah, good morning, Yoli.
Okay, thank you very much. We wanted to touch base with you. The Senate went, a bit. Shall we say, maybe many people weren't expecting that the way it has gone. Because to put it in street lingo, they threw out the president's amendment and said that, nah, we're done with that. What would you say? It was surprising. Was it surprising to you as well?
I think if you follow the deliberation, the procedure for making a law is the same procedure for making an amendment to the law.
Sure.
And the president's communication in relation to amendment of Section 84, subsection 10, was read for the first time by the leader of the House. And notwithstanding the reported interim order of the court, which, of course, as at now, I'm not aware it has been served even on the Senate or the House of Representatives. The opinion of the National Assembly is that it is established principle of separation of power that the legislative arm, just like any other arm, cannot be restrained from performing its constitutional duty. In this case, the duty to make law. So the bill, amendment bill, came for second reading yesterday. For the purpose of our listeners, the procedure for making a law or amending a law take basically first step. One, there will be a first reading. At that level, there will be no debate, no discussion. There will be second reading. At the second reading, the philosophy, policy, underlining, and the rationale for the bill will be debated. And when the majority feels that the philosophy, the policy is such a germane that further legislative action should be taken, it will be sent to the committee. At the committee level, depending on the seriousness or the public concern about the bill, there will be a public hearing, there will be engagement of stakeholders, then there will now be a report back for the third reading. That is what is called the report of the committee. Then if the committee report is favorably considered, then the bill will be set subject to amendment that have been made to third reading. And at that level, the bill is passed at the legislative chamber. Then it will, of course, because of our bicameral legislative system, will be sent to the other chamber for concurrence. In this instance, the amendment bill passed the first reading, but unfortunately, you could not say the second reading because after reading the underlying policy thrust and the rationale behind the bill, I think the position of the majority is that if the concern is about unconstitutionality of the provision, it is not for us to determine between ourselves whether the bill is constitutional or not. Section 6 of the Constitution vested judicial powers in the judicial arm of the government, and by subsection 3 of section 1 of the Constitution, it says that any law inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution will be declared to be null and void. The practical implication of that is that it may well be possible that some of the laws of the National Assembly may ultimately be declared by the court to be unconstitutional. But until that is done, we cannot just assume that what has been done by the National Assembly is unconstitutional because that appears to be the opinion of the executive arm of the government. And I think it was that feeling that the majority of the senators had yesterday that yes, it may well be that there are strong opinions about constitutionality or otherwise of the provision. But let democracy blossom. Let it be tested in the court and see whether it will be so declared unconstitutional. And of course, the rationale for making the initial provision is that if you are appointed to serve the government at any level, it is expected that you should be able to devote your time, your energy, and your resources towards the accomplishment of the goal of your appointor, rather than dissipate your time and utilizing government resources to be ventilating and seeking for government offices. And it's also felt that there should be some level playing ground in among aspirants contesting for positions in our democratic system. So, as against the contention, which may or may not be upheld by the court as to constitutionality, I think the senators were well confirmed about the soundness and rationale for the mischief that the provision intended to cure.
Well, okay, and as you said, the doctrine of separation of powers is well known, and indeed that is what we are practicing here. That's what most people will say, because that's what it is. But when the president was signing the bill into law, one got the impression that he was showing good faith, that look, here I am, I have an issue with this little section here. Nevertheless, I'm not going to delay anything. I'll sign on the understanding that you people will go and see what you can do to addressing the concern that I've shown. And there was no belligerence then. One didn't get the impression that that's going to be, a journey too far. We're not likely to go there. Or it's not the style. Maybe it's not the parliamentary style. It's like, let everybody have their say, and then you come home. Because the entirety of the House was, quite frankly, not on board with the president, going by the nay. When we say yay, we heard that volume. Say nay, we heard that volume. So what's going on there? I mean, he shouldn't, as the primus inter pares, the Senate president, shouldn't he have been able to read his own house and know that the guys are not going to go for this?
Of course, as you said, primus, inter pares. The essence of legislative assembly is that decisions are taken by majority, irrespective of personal opinion of anybody, including some of us. And you can also see, for instance, the deputy president of the Senate coming very forcefully in support of the amendment sought by the president. You could see that the general understanding of legislators is that we have become functus officio as far as the Electoral Act 2022 is concerned. INEC had already brought timetable based on that provision, and the certainty of the law will require that we flow with that. As to whether the president signed on the basis of good faith or otherwise, I would say, with all sense of responsibility, nobody called me, Ajibola Basiru, to say, should the president sign? I've made a bargain that this will be. So that possibly may be general perception of the media or the public. But in terms of the working of the National Assembly and any self-respecting legislative arm, they should be free to take a decision. In fact, one of the established principles of law is that even a National Assembly session cannot even bind another session of the National Assembly. So the fact that a law is made by even this session does not mean that tomorrow we cannot amend our law. So part of the prerogative under Section 4 is for us to look at the plausibility otherwise of amending the law. And I will say, for people who have very strong concern about constitutionality or otherwise of that section, the courtroom is open to challenge the constitutionality. And
Senator, I beg your pardon. I'm going to have to interrupt you, Senator. Beg your pardon for doing so. But Mr. Ade in the UK has been holding on for a while, so we'll take his input to the conversation and we'll come back to you. Good morning, Mr. Ade in the UK.
Good morning, Dr. Yori. Good morning to this distinguished senator. I want to congratulate our distinguished senators in the Senate. Time the senator comes to UK, I will host them for free dinner. I thank them for what a good job done yesterday. I was so excited. I was so happy because why? I want the AG to go and test his popularity in his state. Let him resign Let Nigeria AG. So for that purpose, I was dancing and rejoicing. So let the AG resign now and go to Yobe or whatever and contest. So let's have another new AG so it can unravel all the corruption being covered by this office. So thank you, all the senators. Any one of you that come to UK, free meal, free dinner. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ade in the UK. I thought we were staying with the general principles of the bill without peopling, peopling all those parameters according to your own, perspective. But thank you very much. Senator Basiru, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just think that I will take the open invitation of Mr. Ade. It's easy when it's very good to have lunch. Then when the lunch or dinner is free, then it is much better. So I think I have accepted the open invitation. But on a more serious note,
sure,
democracy is about heterogeneity of ideas and perspectives, and the recent development in the National Assembly has shown, and at the risk of sounding patronizing, that the present crop of legislators at the 9th Assembly are serious-minded people and we take issues as they come. And we are not on any ego trip with anybody. We take our decisions, whether it is considered to be popular with certain segments of society or otherwise, but we take it looking at what we think is in the best interest of our society.
Okay.
I will tell you, I contested for Senate in the primary of my party, even though I was Attorney General. But I will tell you, between man and God, I approached my governor then, Ogbeni Aregbesola, and said I wanted to resign so that I can concentrate on my contest. Of course, he did not oblige me of that request. So I would have, though the law did not prescribe that I should resign. I actually was ready to resign to be able to face, my politics, because I believe that it will be a divided, attention and may not allow me to put in my best, both in my campaign and also in the public office that I've taken oath to do so.
Okay,
so
one moment, please, Senator. One moment, please, Senator. Mr. George, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
And good morning to all the guests you've been having. Uncle Yori, please permit me to say something briefly on your previous topic, although you promised to bring it back.
Yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow morning, Mr. George.
Yes, I think it's necessary you bring it back because I know our president was in Kenya recently to sign an agreement in respect of energy and all that. With the fuel, with the fuel that is with the oil that is the mainstay of our economy, which our leaders are all just interested in the money that comes from there. Would they allow this brand of energy to come to the fore? Because
the green hydrogen.
Yes, would they allow it to surface?
All right.
The question we'll debate another day.
All right.
Coming to this bill that the senators rejected yesterday, the rejection was in order. But why didn't they do that in the case of the direct primaries? Is it because this one concerns their own re-election, so that the executive, those in executive appointed positions will not come and disturb their own chances of re-election? I see some selfishness in it, even as good as it is, but it should be a general principle that applies to Nigeria as a project, not for their own selfish gains. It's a starting point, but let them continue like that selflessly, if you know what I mean, Uncle Yori.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Senator Basiru, at least Mr. George saying that, yeah, kudos, but that, you can be more comprehensive with this and let it become, if you want, a blanket sort of affair, because it makes so much sense in terms of equity and fairness. The rest is politics, perhaps. And so Mr. George there from Ikeja was giving you kudos, but saying that you can go further.
It would depend. There's a difference between when you have a tenured office. As a senator, for instance, you have a tenure of 4 years, and of course, the lacuna that will be in the polity will be that almost all sitting senators will not even be sitting. So there will be no legislative activity in the country, for 1 year. So there's a difference between when you hold an existing elected office and you are a political appointee. I also want to advert to there are two aspects to subsection 10 of section 84. Of course, attention is only paid to one. The first aspect is that when you are a political appointee, you cannot vote at an elective convention for the purpose of nomination of candidates. And that provision was inserted in the 2010 Electoral Act because of the mischief that we have seen of executive arm of government appointing several retinue of aides only for the purpose of getting them to be electors at the nomination Congress or convention. So section 84 subsection 10 address that issue. So the mere fact that you're a political appointee does not ipso facto confer right to be delegate or an elector at the convention of our party. Indeed. Unless you are doing a direct primary, which means that every member of political party will be voting.
Okay, I've got to bring. I'm sorry, Senator. I'm sorry, Senator. I've got to bring in Ada in Jos. She's been holding on for a while. I'm sorry, Senator. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Yori, and good morning, Senator Ajibola.
Yes.
Bashir. Ada calling from Jos Plateau State.
Okay.
I'm glad the Senate has decided to assert itself for the first time. It's first in geography, not history. A departure from their rather rubber stamp posture. Then, having said that, Mr. Yori, what is bothering me is when Mr. President had issues with the method of primaries, when they had this issue of direct, that should be democratic, put in consensus, put in indirect, and what have you. Why did he not see this particular section 84? If you ask me, subsection 12, why? It's because people behind the scene.
That's the point that Mr. George was also making.
Who are interested in that particular section now went and started telling him what to do and what not to do. Even on television, they told us, they bragged about it, that if you do the forehead, they will tell the president, make no sign. God, don't catch them. Let's not give up on this country. That's my take this morning.
All right, then. All right, Madam Ada in Jos. Senator, your comments.
No, I think we are used to people saying we are rubber stamp Senate or National Assembly.
Which you always denied.
We know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a matter of perception. But the truth is that there are so many evidence of the Senate taking decisions not necessarily in tandem with what executive have brought. But our own philosophy in the 99th Assembly is a cooperative mode of legislative arm. We will not, because to get applause from anybody, antagonize what we think will bring progress and development to our people. And if anybody will sincerely compare the achievement of the 9th Assembly with the other assembly that took a different approach to executive-legislative relation, you will discover that we have been able to make monumental achievements in terms of passing legislation that impact positively on the life of our people. Is it the Petroleum Industry Act that has been stalled for more than a decade and a half? Or is it the Company and Other Matter Act 2020? Or is it the Police Act? Or is it the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act? As well as many other impactful legislation, including the Electoral Act that have been installed since 2010, 2011. Mm-hmm. So as far as we are concerned, yes, it's good for anybody to also think that we should be confrontational, but we refuse invitation to be confrontational, but we remain firm and consistent in ensuring that we take decision that is in the line with the development of our people and advancement of democracy in the country.
Okay, Kesandu in Owerri. Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, I greet you.
Kesandu?
Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, I greet you, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Uncle Yori, for the first time, we have been so happy with the red chamber that they can stand or stood their grounds on this kind of thing. See, let me tell you, I've always maintained that nobody is more Nigerian than any other. At this time, people will not allow their personal interest to override the joy and comfortability of every other Nigerian. See, If you want to run for an election, go straight and face the business of politics and leave governance. Nobody will bring governance and politics together again. I stand with the Senate and it remains so. Mr. President should forget about this amendment. No going back to it.
All right, now I'm sorry, we've run out of time, but thank you very much for calling in, Kesandu, and also thank you very much, Senator Surajuddin, Ajibola Basiru. Thank you very much, Senate spokesman, for answering questions and always coming on, if you can, whenever we invite you. Thank you very much, Senator. Okay, so that's our program now. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.